a language. I was at an event, and everybody was talking. There weren't that many people there. There were just enough people that we weren't sitting in a circle. It could have been a kind of circle event where people sit in a circle, but this wasn't. This was arbitrarily people were sitting in this room. It was a small room, so we were fairly close to each other, although in these days that wouldn't be a very good thing, but this didn't happen in the last few months. It happened further back. It's a memory that I have. So everybody was sitting, and I can't remember what the nature of the conversation was about, but I do remember that I stood up and I said something. Now that was when the problem started. I'm not sure I should have done that at that time, and there's nothing wrong with me saying anything, but where was I inserting it in the ongoingness of the conversation? And was it at the most appropriate time? Was there a pause? At which point that would be when I would just jump in. But I can't remember that. And it's not that it's about my memory, it's about that I'm not sure exactly what happened. But anyway, I did start talking. And everybody stopped and they listened to me. I was talking about the disposition of language in general. How we have to squeeze ourselves into this tiny little box of how we make sentences, how we order syntax, how we use words. And that's such a vast thing that I'm not sure little tiny human brains can ever get that right, even though they like to think so. But you know, for me, I don't think that much before I talk, which is probably what the issue was in the first place. I just stood up and could have blurted out. Everybody, there's subject, there's predicate, there's adjectives, there's adverbs, there's subject, there's predicate, there's adverbs, there's adjectives, there's subject, there's predicate, there's adverbs, there are adjectives. Now, adjectives. Let's just stop there. An adjective is used to describe a noun. Isn't that correct? I don't know. I think so. An adjective is used to describe a noun, and we all have collected this abundance of adjectives in our brain. Some of us have collected more, some of us have collected less, but even the ones that have collected less, even if they only have 5 adjectives, because that's all their brains can contain, so even if they have 5 adjectives, those adjectives become part of the universal lexicon. Over and over, there are these 5 adjectives. Something's good, something's bad, something's beautiful, something's ugly, something's screwed. I mean, that's not where I was coming from. I wasn't going to bring up that kind of content. I mean, you know, I have to tell you, I didn't know these people. I got this invitation, which I don't get very often, invitations. Everybody seemed friendly enough, generous enough, and for a moment, I lost my shyness. For a moment, I lost my awkwardness. For a moment, I thought I did have the capability to stand up in front of all. You know, public speaking is really a difficult thing for a lot of people. It's like, it's one of the most difficult things for a lot of people. It's a highly difficult thing for a lot of people. It is such a difficult thing for a lot of people. And most of the time, I'm one of those people. Most of the time, unless I'm talking about, see, I have 7 planets in Cancer. So you can get me you can get me talking about my house. You can get me talking about food. You can get me talking about family, raising children, being married several times. You can get me talking about anything that has to do with this kind of little shell that I wear over me all the time, no matter what you think, no matter how I display, no matter how I articulate, no matter how gracefully I move, no matter how smart I appear, no matter how worldly, inside there's like there's kind of a panic, and sometimes I actually get off on that panic, and sometimes it shuts me down all the way. I'm sure that there are a lot of you that can relate to this. I'm sure that there are just so many that can relate to it. And do we have anything in our education system that can feed this kind of inadequacy so that by the time anybody gets to be, I don't know what, 15, that's good. By the time anybody gets to be 15, they feel comfortable with their voice. They feel comfortable talking about stuff, even though they don't know what they're talking about. Now, we get a lot of that, don't we? Ranting off, just ranting off. Like, think about TV, ranting off without any kind of logic, without any kind of intelligence, without any kind of magic, imagination, ranting off, subject, verb, predicate, object, adjective, period, capital. Capitalize the names of things. Put dashes between words that kind of connect to each other. Capitalize the names of countries and states. Capitalize the names of people. Capitalize what you think is an important word, even if it's the. You capitalize it, and the becomes magnificent. Or don't. Keep it murky. Just keep it murky. Keep it murky. Because we don't understand each other anyway. We project. Somebody says something. We hear it, and the quality of the voice does make a difference. If somebody says, for instance, did you hear about John? Or they say, did you hear about John? Or they say, did you hear about John? How they say it, how they say it is what it is. But do we do that? Or we just say, did you hear about John? 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 First of all, you have to know who John is. I don't know who John was. I mean, John. How many Johns does every... How many Johns? 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 How many John? How many John? How many John? How many Johns do you know? Okay. So I was at this meeting, and either because of ignorance or innocence. See, that's interesting right there. Innocence, how do we know? Somebody says something inappropriate. How do we know whether it's innocent or ignorant? And do we have to know that? Do we have to know things like that? Oh, that would make a big difference. If somebody said, I lost my purse. And they said it with innocence. I lost my purse. Surprise. Oh, I'm so surprised I lost my purse. I'm usually so organized. Everything's look at this right here. I mean, this is organized. I would never lose my purse. Have you ever lost your purse? Do you know what that involves? Do you know the steps you have to go through when you lose your purse? Can you even remember what's in that purse, this big bag that we carry with lots of stuff in it, and every time we want to put something out of it, we got to wade through the whole thing, or else we have to empty out each piece, and then we have to take what we want, if it's even in there. Maybe it's not even, maybe we're taking out each piece, and then we realize, oh my God, I didn't put it in there. Oh my God, I think I left it in the house. Oh my God, where did I leave it? Oh my God, did I leave it in the kitchen? Oh my God, is it next to my phone? Oh my God, oh my God. in there. Okay, so subject, object, predicate. Subject, object, predicate. Subject, object, predicate. Now, when I got up at that meeting, I don't know if I followed the protocol. I don't know if I did subject, object, or predicate. I was too nervous, and the idea of what I was going to say was just front and center. It was just front and center. It was demanding to be given light with language. Demanding. And I bowed to it. And see, now there's an interesting word, and, like that and, you heard me just now, I'm saying and I bowed to it, and the light shined on my face and dimmed my eyes a little bit and put a warm bath on my skin, just the light coming from that word, and. But then everything changed, because there I was, and everybody's jaw was dropped, and they're all listening to what I was saying, and I was losing it. I couldn't keep my thoughts straight. I got so into the and that I forgot the tail of the line of language that I was following. I forgot where I was. It was so humiliating. It was so, I could hear people sigh. I could see people turning on their phones. And I'm like grappling for this word after the walrus, the bookend, Congress, the Congress, the family, the library, the books, the mother, the father. The mother talks to the father talks to the child cries and turns and walks out of the room. The child goes to the room of their own. The child puts on a coat. The child comes downstairs. The child walks out of the front door. The child is never seen again. So there's the. Now, I was in this meeting, and everybody was talking about money. They were talking about money, and they were talking about politics. Now, if I just scanned the people in that room, I could guess who was talking about money and who was talking about politics. Isn't that interesting? I mean, you can kind of smell it. They're both rotten. And they have a stench, right? A stench that pervades. And we're so used to it, we don't even smell it. We think it's like roses or something. We don't even smell. Of course, our olfactory system, you know, given where we live, given the cities we live in, our olfactory system does not work. I mean, you could just guess anybody to how's your smelling going? Not in the way we work. No. We live in cities. There's so much sound we can't distinguish one thing from another. I have to take a moment's rest. The thing was, it was just, you know, it was just a really like simple moment. There's no need to make such a big to-do about it. Just get up and say what's on your mind. Just say it. Don't like make it particularly important. You're just in the flow of language. Each person is talking, and it's really not about the content. It's just about talking. It's just about being heard. I could be talking in a foreign language that nobody in the room understands, but they get the gist. Like, suppose I was talking Italian, or suppose I was talking Japanese, or suppose I was talking Russian, or suppose I was talking French, or suppose I was talking Baltimore, or suppose I was talking Latin, or suppose I was talking English. Suppose I was talking English. Suppose I was talking English. That would have gotten some attention right there. That would have gotten some attention right there. Some tension. And just thinking about it makes me feel tense. And that's an interesting thing, tension. Like, where do we feel that? Is it in the muscles that we feel tension? Is it in the mind that we feel tension? Does the mind kind of shrink and get all tight and squeezed in to this inside, this little skull? It gets so squeezed in because of embarrassment and humiliation. The little brain wants to disappear, and it does for a few moments. Because why? Because embarrassment and humiliation take over, and then the brain can't function at all. The brain is like discarded because all of a sudden humiliation is way more important, way more dominant, way more luxurious. We bask in humiliation. So, there I was. In this room, it was painted this green that I hate. There's a kind of a green that's not really green. It's kind of like, I don't want to say, but it's like some body fluid that's got this like greeny, olivey, paley, kind of depressing. It's, you know, especially when it's in places where you want to feel lively and inside your body and inside your intelligence and inside your humor and inside your heart. But here you are, in this room. And there I was, in that room. And there the walls were. And there were all the people sitting in the chairs. And the walls started coming in on me. I'm not kidding. They were coming in on me. I could feel them moving slowly, coming in on me. All the rooms. It was kind of a square room. All the walls were coming in on me. And I could feel the vibration. I could feel the pressure. I can feel it. I can feel it right now, just remembering it. Just thinking about it. Just imagining it as it was then. And then, the most amazing thing happened. It was as if we were all in water together. Everybody sitting in the chairs, me standing up in front of all these strangers who politely had sort of mini smiles on their face, but that was confusing because I didn't think I was saying anything particularly loving or heartful or humorous. I really can't even remember what I was talking about, but I know that it was not amusing, it was not meant to entertain, it was meant to be part of the world.